Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm sorry about yesterday, guys. I slept all day. I got up for a little bit. I was in George's live. My head was pounding. I took let me tell you, I took 2 leaves and I was gone. I slept all day. I got up around 7:42 last night. And then I didn't go back to sleep again until around 1 and couldn't sleep. And I've been up ever since. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. I see Crafting with Amanda here. I see Bree is here. Wisco Gal, Sarah motherfucking Z, Mustang Mike, Chantel, Bambi, Sweet Potato. What I want to know, and I see Sarah is not Sarah. Crafting with Amanda is here. Bree is here. How do you feel about everything that happened this weekend? I honestly want to know. How do you feel about everything this weekend that happened with Bomb, Mo, Cats, Danielle, Snake? How do you guys feel about that? Good morning, Dreamsicle. Good morning, Mr. Jimenez. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am really, really disappointed. I really am. Um, Oh, I feel better. I think my body was telling me too that I needed to rest. I needed to get some rest. But my head, with all of this crazy shit going on, is ridiculous. It's very heartbreaking. Thank you. Thank you. The whole situation is sad. And I'm going to tell you what I don't and I can't get past. Okay? When I saw the test message, good morning, sister, about calling the cops because Amber is supposed to be beating her daughter. Um, she was drunk and beating her daughter. And then the message about Flavor and her PD or whatever and having a gun. I can't get past that. I just can't get past it. Hi, Minnie 360. Hi, sister. Hi, Savage. I can't get past that. I don't care how mad I've gotten, how mad I've been. I would never, ever want somebody to call the police and have someone's house swatted. I would never do that. People say a lot of shit when they're mad. They do. Now, what would have happened if Mo would have actually did that? I just can't get past that. I can't. I can't. I can't get past it. I've thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. I have said for people to for one person to cut deep by K because she wrote my name on her own arm. Okay. I have said if when I was told that Jen had a pew pew, I said I wouldn't care if she unalived herself. I have said when she was telling me that it was because her father that I was able to live in this country, I've said, F your father. I have never asked someone to call the police. I know Amber called animal control. I know they called uh, her landlord. I know, but oh my God, I can't. I can't. I just can't. I can't get past it. I just can't. Anyway, good morning. Hi, Snuggle Bunny. Hello. I'm doing great, Bree. It's just, and I went back And I listened last night. Well, when I woke up. And I didn't hear anything that justifies any of that. Just don't hear it. Anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning. We've been talking about Kamani Lateef. We talked about Madeline Soto. And there was a case in Houston when I lived there in 2019. It was a 4-year-old girl. Her name was Maleah Harris. Okay. The mother and her little brother had gone away for a funeral and left the little girl with her boyfriend, the stepfather. I remember this case like it was yesterday. But I couldn't remember the name, but I remembered the case. And I was happened to be looking through some of my old emails I had sent to myself, and then I saw the name. Well, what the boyfriend tells the cops. Now, at the time, he said that he had stopped on side of the highway. And I want you to listen to this. He said he was stopped on side the highway and he was checking a tire. It was either 3 or 4 Hispanic men jumped him and stole Maleah. I was like, wait a minute. Everybody knows in Texas, we've got TxDOT cameras and stuff all over the freeway. When I had that accident that time and totaled my car, trying to tell them what happened, they just pulled TxDOT. And they saw it for themselves. I was cut off. I clipped the back of a car. My car spun around. They saw the whole thing. He said that he was on side the freeway. And Mexican men jumped him. Now, they were from Missouri City, which is out where my brother lives at. I think he said he was on 610 or 59. Either way, we have cameras. We have TxDOT cameras, okay? Never happened. He said when he woke up, he was he had been left unconscious. I think it was around a mall someplace. 24 hours later, he woke up and she was gone. Okay, that's what he said. Then, what's his name? X. That's his name. The one with the fat head. He went and had a conversation with him. Come to find out, he had dumped her body in Arkansas. You can see him taking a basket, which I'm going to play this video. And then we're going to talk about, good morning, Texas girl. Good morning. I was just talking about this whole thing that happened this weekend, well, over the last 2 to 3 days, which really has me really upset right now. So we're going to see this. Now, the mother was out of town, and she was 4 years old. I found it. There she goes. There's Maleah. Maleah, I said Harris. Maleah Davis. Jesus Christ. Why I say Harris? Maleah Davis. There she is, 4 years old. I'm going to tell you this little girl had been abused. Okay? Look how pretty. Don't she remind you of Kamani Lateef? 4 years old.
Alert for young Maleah first went out on the morning of May 5th, 2019. This after her stepfather, Darion Vance, initially told investigators that he was attacked and Maleah was kidnapped. Texas EquiSearch quickly jumped in, hoping to find the little girl.
Quanell X.
This is Maleah
Quanell X.
Davis. Police say she is still missing. Her stepfather says she was kidnapped.
We got detectives and officers out looking in the Houston Sugar Land area.
Maleah's stepfather, Darion Vance, says he was on his way to Bush Airport with Maleah and his 2-year-old son on Friday afternoon to pick up his girlfriend, Maleah's mother, Brittany. But they never made it. He pulled over off 59 near Greens Road to check on a flat
59.
tire. That's what he said.
59 in Greens, which is on my side where I used to live at. Well, he was coming, going to Bush. He never had that little girl in that car. They checked all of that. He lied.
Says a blue pickup truck like the one in this photo pulled up behind him, and 2 Hispanic males approached him.
One of them makes a comment saying that Maleah looks very nice, looks very sweet. The other male hits Darion in the head. Darion.
Let me add, he hit himself in the head, okay? He hit himself in the head.
Loses consciousness.
Darion tells police he woke briefly in the back of the blue pickup. His son and Maleah were still with him, but then he lost consciousness again and only came to around 6 p.m. Saturday when he was dropped off along 59 and Highway 6 in Sugar Land. His son was with him. Maleah was gone. Darion claims he tried summoning help. No one did, so he walked down the road to Methodist Hospital, where he was treated for his injuries, and reported Maleah missing.
I realize there's a lot of blanks in that story, but we're hoping on the public can fill
Now,
in
where was
the
his
blanks.
son?
The car Darion was driving.
Where was his son when he went to the hospital? He said they dropped him off in Sugar Land. Didn't take him to a hospital. He just got dropped off in Sugar Land. But he said when he woke up, his son and his son was there, but Maleah was gone. The son was with the mother at a funeral for a family member.
Driving before the alleged assault was captured on a Sugar Land traffic camera. Police still working to find that car, anything that could lead them to Maleah. Meanwhile, family friends are doing what they can to help bring Maleah home.
It's a child, and a lot of these people are out here with their kids. So we're giving them the flyers. They're looking at them, oh my God, we didn't know. So hopefully people take it seriously. We've been asking people to share the flyer to their social media as well to get it out there.
Police tell us to make matters more dire, Maleah underwent brain surgery in the last 2 months and is in need of constant medical care.
Yep.
Her family and friends know time is of the essence.
It's the most important thing right now. I think a lot of people are tied up with the story, what's true and what's not, what makes sense and what doesn't, and that's not the focus. The focus is getting her home safely and as soon as possible.
From riding four-wheelers to walking through thick brush with sticks, Texas EquiSearch volunteers started combing these woods just off the East Tex Freeway as soon as Houston police asked them for help.
She had just had brain surgery, and she had taken a flight. You cannot fly after brain surgery. And that was like 2 months before. When I first heard this story, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Nobody kidnapped that little girl. He did something to that little girl. Her father, when they went to court for him to sign off on his parental rights, to turn over his parental rights to his brother, the killer, the father of Maleah beat the shit out of him in court, and no one stopped him. That man walked in that courtroom and beat the shit out of him. I'm going to show you a picture of Maleah's father.
We're focused on one thing, and it's a baby.
EquiSearch founder Tim Miller says any case involving a missing kid is always tough.
Literally choked up right now.
In this case, 4-year-old Maleah Davis's disappearance prompted an Amber Alert over the weekend. HPD says her stepfather, Darion Vance, claims Maleah was taken during an altercation that left him injured. His story is that 3 men in a pickup like this assaulted him after his tire blew out on the way to the airport to get Maleah's mom. He finally regained consciousness nearly 24 hours later in Sugar Land. His 2-year-old son was with him, but no Maleah or the car they had been in.
It don't make sense. All the pieces not coming together to the puzzle.
Kimberly Whitley
That's
has no connection to the family or
first
case,
purpose.
but felt enough about Maleah emotionally to stop by the search scene on her lunch break.
I'm hoping that she's she's somewhere safe. I'm praying. I feel like I want to go and search too. Search the woods with them.
What does your gut tell you?
My gut saying I don't think it's gonna be good.
Thank you. This is how
EquiSearch will
everybody
relocate to another area if investigators feel the need, and plans to continue its hunt for Maleah no matter this week's weather.
I don't care if we got to walk in water up to our waist. We're here. We're here.
Weather conditions would briefly pause EquiSearch's process. During that time, Houston police would send out new photos of the car connected to Maleah's disappearance, a silver Nissan Altima.
Less than a day after Maleah's mom made this emotional plea,
If there's anybody that can help me, please, please. I just want to find my baby. I just want to find her. Help me.
He took that little girl out of that apartment in a basket, in a laundry basket with clothes on top of it. You see him putting it in the trunk, and then he dumped her in Arkansas.
Find her,
Hi,
please.
Kelly.
trained Texas EquiSearch volunteers continued their search, spending another morning in the woods near Bush Intercontinental Airport. And this afternoon, near the family's apartment, some 30 miles away on the southwest side.
This little girl is not in a place she chose to be. So we just got to figure out where that place is.
EquiSearch pretty much cleared the area where Maleah's stepdad claimed she was kidnapped by 3 men who beat him up. Searchers have also been looking for the family's missing car in area parking lots. Like in similar cases, detectives tell me those closest to Maleah have to be ruled out, which is why the search is now focused near the family's home.
Early on, I said that we're certainly hoping for the best, expecting the worst. And I certainly expect the worst at this point in time.
I haven't seen Maleah's mother or family on either search scene, but they spent last night handing out flyers like the one the girl's mother clutched while crying.
I just want to find Maleah. I just want to find Maleah.
From the front seat of John Marsden's vehicle,
how many flyers are there?
About 650 to 700.
To the intersection of Kirkwood and Bissonnet near the family's home.
She's been taken since Friday. We're trying to bring her back home.
Hundreds of flyers were handed out to anyone willing to take one.
Spread the word.
Marsden founded the group Houston's Unsolved Homicides after his own son was murdered. That's him hugging Maleah's mother, who did not want to say much this morning.
I feel like I've been in the media.
What I found with her was that the same with the grandmother for Kamani Lateef, the same with Jennifer Soto. Your child is missing. You put on this show, but there are no tears. No tears at all.
Much, and I don't want to talk anymore.
Her husband, Maleah's stepfather, claims their 4-year-old daughter was taken by 3 men who also stole his car and left him beaten and unconscious until the next day. He says he woke up more than 30 miles away. Houston police tweeted new photos of the missing car, these pictures taken before this investigation. It's a silver Nissan Altima with paper tags.
It doesn't make sense. Something is missing. There's loopholes in the story.
Thank you.
Can you please share it on social media?
For now, Marsden says he's not here to judge and hopes others will reserve judgment too.
We all have in our community.
I judge it.
And it's about showing love and support. You know, regardless of what happened in the past, that's the past. We need to focus on the future, bringing this young lady home.
Look how pretty she was.
As the search for Maleah continued, new surveillance footage revealed Vance leaving an apartment
there you go.
carrying a laundry basket with a black...
You see this laundry basket? He took that little girl. Amber, you should remember this story. This was in Houston. He took that little girl out of that apartment in that laundry basket. He took her out in that laundry basket.
Trash bag and a large bottle of bleach. Afterward, the Nissan Altima was found in Missouri City.
On a muggy morning in Missouri City, the car at the center of an intense investigation was finally found in this strip center parking lot.
The car's clean, and I don't mean that as somebody's cleaned it. It's just
The car looks normal.
That includes the car's tires, one of which supposedly blew out before Maleah Davis's stepdad, Dario Vince, claims 3 men assaulted him before kidnapping Maleah. He told police that happened last Friday near Bush Airport and that he regained consciousness the next day in Sugar Land with his son, but no Maleah. Vince lives in Alief, and now the car shows up in Missouri City.
Each time we have tried to talk to him or have him come in, we have been unsuccessful.
Investigators are still looking for Vince as the case unfolds, but don't consider him missing, and Houston police do not name persons of interest before charges are filed.
We saw officers come into this restaurant where a surveillance camera points toward the parking lot.
Meanwhile, the sight of the car brought Maleah's mother to tears as people who work in the strip center
I feel sad. I feel sad for her.
watched another morning pass without news of little Maleah's location. A cubby marked with 4-year-old Maleah Davis's name awaits her return. Staff and students at Attitude, Respect, and Manners Learning Center say the 4-year-old was filled with energy, love, and joy.
Okay, let's just go look.
In the middle of the search and investigation, so many Houstonians felt sympathy for Maleah's family. A special event was held at Brewster Park, paying tribute to the young girl.
I never know. It could have been my grandbaby.
Parents brought
Okay,
their
I want
daughters
Quanell
to face an Beto once fought to find.
I was there when we found the body, and man, he's like just a little lifeless body. I mean, you take that with you. You don't forget that.
His name was Colton Turner. He was just 2 years old, and in
Where's
2014,
Quanell?
his body was found in a shallow grave in Southeast Austin. His mother and her boyfriend now serving time for their role in the toddler's death.
There's something about kids
of what he did to that young girl.
Really touches all of us.
Now it's Maleah the chief is fighting for.
We already know and believe that she's dead.
Police have a suspect, Maleah's stepfather, Darion Vance, still in custody for tampering with a corpse.
I'm sure that if he really wanted to, he'd probably tell us exactly where to find that body. That's just an opinion, based on what I know so far.
So far, silence. The searching suspended. The balloon releases have stopped. It's why the chief wants you to pay attention.
We want to reignite the public interest. We want people to think of their own children.
If you've seen this car or this man during the time Maleah disappeared, report it to police.
Someone out in a wooded area or in a bayou area or even outside of the Houston area, in the Galveston, anybody that might have seen something
here's
suspicious
Quanell X.
Involving an individual
That's
that matches
Maleah's
the
mom.
description of the stepdad, we'd want to know.
Acevedo won't talk about Maleah's mom, Brittany Bowens, or definitively answer if she's
on until we get the final justice here, until we bring this little girl home.
People think you are partly to blame for what happened.
25 minutes after their sit-down with Lynn Cannon, Quanell X says Brittany Bowens admitted talking with Darion Vance, the suspect in her 4-year-old daughter's disappearance, after his arrest. Details so sensitive he gave them only to police.
And it also said to me when we was riding in my car, what she believed really happened to Maleah. At that point, I knew what needed to be done. And so I arranged to quickly go and meet as soon as I could.
Well, he's fat
with
now
the
too,
investigators at
but
the highest levels of this case and share with them everything that we had learned and discovered.
Speaking for the first time since cutting ties with Bowens, Quanell told us Brittany's sister asked him to help Maleah's mom manage media and her emotions. 2 days on the job, Quanell saw red flags. He claims sources in Brittany's own family told him troubling details about Maleah's care, and in private, Quanell says he saw a different Brittany than the one seen on TV.
There was not a lot of tears. She was
See what I'm
always
saying?
calm, fluid, clear.
Hey, Gwen.
Now, whenever there was a public thing, she would break down.
Still, the activist hung around, he claims, to get information he feared police could not. Bowens did not answer calls or return our messages.
See, now, we didn't know any of this. They weren't telling us any of this. I knew that mother knew her daughter was being abused. I knew for a fact this woman was hiding something. Quanell X said by the second day, he knew it as well. He knew it as well. But he was trying to get information for the police.
Law enforcement sources did confirm that Quanell told prosecutors about Brittany's words, her behavior, and his suspicions. Quanell does not believe Brittany knows where to find Maleah, but her former advocate is bothered by other details he says she shared with him.
She knows the truth, and she knows that eventually she's going to have to answer for that.
By the end of May 2019, the case reached its biggest breakthrough yet. Maleah's stepdad, Darion Vence, confessed to Quan LX about the young girl's death. Vence also shared the location of where Maleah's body could be found.
He says it was an accident, and he confessed to me where he dumped her body.
Almost 4 weeks after the Amber Alert was first issued for Maleah Davis, some hope her body might finally be found.
It's in Arkansas.
Community activist Quan LX says he had a jailhouse meeting with Maleah's stepfather, Darion Vence.
But he told me exactly where it is in Arkansas, that he dumped the body in Arkansas, and he was very specific with the amount of distance and time.
Vence has been charged in connection with Maleah's disappearance, but hasn't said he had anything to do with it.
He pulled over in Arkansas, got out of the car, walked off the side of the road, and dumped her body off the side of the road.
You believe him, or you think it's another crazy story?
No, I think it's the truth.
An accident. A child dies by accident. You put her in a garbage bag, put her in a laundry basket. You drive to Arkansas, drop her off, dump her, not drop her off, come back and fake like you were attacked by 2, 3, 4 Mexican men and she was kidnapped. That's not an accident. A child dies by accident. You call the police. You call an ambulance. It's not an accident.
I don't think he was lying to me. I think he was telling the truth. Many men have confessed these type of crimes to me.
Texas EquiSearch founder Tim Miller thinks it's true too.
Jump in an airplane, 3 o'clock, fly to Arkansas and see if we can get her recovered.
As law enforcement near Hope, Arkansas is already several hours into its search, EquiSearch crew members board a plane in Sharon heading to the area. They've been searching for weeks, but they're optimistic that maybe after this trip, little Maleah.
Now you guys know why Tim started EquiSearch, right? Because his daughter, I think it was the Killing Fields. His daughter was Cade. I don't think they ever found her body, but he's found other people's bodies. I don't think his daughter's body was ever found.
Be on her way back home.
In a garbage bag tossed and run over by mowers along this lonely curve of I-30 in Fulton, Arkansas.
I know they thought one time they did, but it wasn't her.
I don't want anybody to see.
What's left of someone's child rattled searchers.
I have grandbabies, so I know what children's clothes look like.
Shook a sheriff.
As soon as she said 4-year-old little girl, I was like, is it Maleah Davis?
And pulled Houstonian Jimmy Davis off the road.
There are some personal effects that lead us to believe that it is Maleah.
HPD detectives flew in based on a tip. Activist Quan LX told them he spoke with missing 4-year-old Maleah Davis's stepfather, Darion Vence, a suspect in jail accused of foul play. Quanell claims Vence told him Maleah died by accident, causing Vence to panic, drive north, and dump her body in a trash bag along the freeway in Hope, Arkansas.
So you drove all the way to Arkansas. You went through Dallas. You went all the way up to dump her body. I still couldn't get over that.
Sheriff James Singleton, a grandpa himself, immediately sent 8
Please
deputies.
check.
We just showed up and tried to put an end to this search.
After an hour, they got a tip that a litter crew found a garbage bag covered in blood and worms 12 miles south. It was there 3 days and accidentally hit by mowers before investigators got there. Detectives know it's a child, but could not say for sure if it's
Same thing with Kaylee Anthony. They said that they had mowed that area, and then again, her body is there. This little girl was dumped in Arkansas.
Maleah, but they found clothes, jewelry, and enough clues for Hempstead County's coroner to fly remains back to Houston. Miller, who paid for the plane, has no doubts.
Unfortunately, she was found in the condition that she was, but she's found. So, you know, the community knows, the family knows. And
So I wanted you to see this part. Now, let me get the part with the dad. I'm going to show you the dad. Hold on. That's a big man. Hold on. I was trying to find the film where he beat his ass in court, and I had it. Damn it, I can't find that part now. So they went to family court for him to sign away his rights to his son, to his brother. Maleah's dad went into that courtroom, whipped his ass, and nothing, no one stopped it. The sheriffs, the judge, nobody stopped him. The attorneys jumped in. They asked him if he wanted to press charges, and he said no. But he got his ass whipped in the courtroom, and everybody was saying he got exactly what he deserved for doing that to that little girl. And there was abuse.
We put this behind
There
us.
was abuse.
The body that was found in Arkansas yesterday arrived here in Houston at 11:30 last night. Activist Quanell X was there as the plane landed. He's allegedly the only one able to secure the information that led to the whereabouts of the body.
It's been a very, very, very rough day. It's been a mentally, spiritually, and psychologically draining day. But I just want to say to everybody here in the city of Houston, everybody around the world that has prayed for Maleah, she's home. She's
That's
back
what
home.
happened to Maleah.
The spokesperson with the medical examiner's office confirmed the body is here at the Harris County Forensic Science Center. This is where tests will be performed, and an official determination on its identity is expected to be made. We don't know how long that could take. For much of the day, we've been trying to connect with some of the people linked to Maleah Davis.
But her mother
We've reached out to more than half a dozen of her relatives, many of whom we've spoken with in the past, but were unable to connect with them. A neighbor told us yesterday Maleah's mother, Brittany Bowens, moved last week and doesn't know where she is. Outside of her apartment unit, a memorial has been started. It's the last place Maleah was ever seen.
3 days after a child's remains were found on the side of an Arkansas highway, we now know for certain it is 4-year-old Maleah Davis.
It's going to get worse and worse for him.
KHOU legal expert Gerald Tree says having Maleah's body helps prosecutors build a tougher case against Maleah's stepdad, Darion Vance.
I'll give you a guarantee that child didn't kill herself and didn't carry herself to Arkansas. The government will charge probably first-degree murder and ask for the death penalty. It'll be a capital murder case.
For now, the DA's office says Vance remains charged with tampering with a corpse, in a statement adding additional charges will be filed as the evidence supports doing so. Investigators were able to find Maleah's remains after Quanell X met with Vance in jail. Quanell says he confessed that Maleah was dead, that it was an accident, and where he dumped the remains.
If I'm a defense lawyer, first line of defense is to throw that statement out.
Tree says if Quanell went into the jail to speak to Vance after a request from police, then it could be excluded from a trial because it wouldn't be considered a voluntary statement. Our legal expert says he's also watching if others will be charged in this case, likely for helping Vance cover up Maleah's death. Police say someone dropped Vance off at Methodist Hospital as a part of his concocted story the night Maleah was first reported missing.
We don't know who did this because there was never any tire that was messed up on that car. No one still knows how he got to the hospital. The car was found in Missouri City. He wound up in Sugar Land, which is not that far apart from each other. But anyway, this whole story stunk to high heaven. It really did. It was disgusting. When you first heard about it, you knew something happened to that little girl. Now, at first, it stated that the mother and his son were together at a family funeral. But he was telling the police that he had his son. Where was his son when he wound up at the hospital? Where was the son at? No one ever stopped to ask that question. You said the son was with you and Maleah. But where was the son? But he said he was on the way to the airport to pick up his girlfriend and their son. The whole story was stinking to high heaven. 4 years old, abused, and kicked and unalive by her mother's boyfriend. Kamani Lateef, her daddy did it to her. Stephan Stearns did it to Madeline Soto. You have, this shit is crazy. But they've released more information on Mr. Stearns, and we're going to take a look at this.
60 charges, 40 of them are labeled unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child, 10 or more images. And I don't know if you did the quick math there, Vinny, that's a lot of images, hundreds if not thousands. And of course we know without the cell phone evidence, there is no case here because that's where all the evidence is coming from, is his phone. Now, according to the Kissimmee Police Department, they released an unredacted affidavit that kind of gives a generality of what was.
Remember the affidavit that we looked at way back when his case started? It was a lot of stuff that was redacted. He said they just released an unredacted statement so you can see everything.
Found, and I want to warn viewers, those who are watching and listening at home, that the contents of this affidavit are pretty graphic. Okay. But it reads, quote, upon reviewing the contents of Stephan's phone, several images and videos were located which depicted the missing juvenile with her breasts, vagina, and anal opening as the focal point of the pictures/videos. There were also
I told you I was trying to read between those blacked out stuff. I told you what it was saying. Anal.
Pictures and videos depicting the missing juvenile's vagina and mouth being penetrated by a penis. As such, the files depict the sexual performance of a child. Your affiant has probable cause to believe Stephan was in possession of material depicting the sexual performance of a child. So again, Vinny, hundreds upon hundreds of files and videos that police say they received from that phone, and it's just utterly disgusting and egregious just reading and seeing that.
So what's different in
explain to me in this case, why isn't Jennifer Soto being charged? She said, her words were, the sex wasn't bad, but the underlying was. That's what she said. The sex wasn't bad, but the underlying was. I told you there were pictures of him with his penis in her anus, in her mouth, vaginally. He had all of these pictures. When you first pulled this affidavit, you know, it's blacked out, and I said, oh my God, he had pictures of him going into her anus. Yes. It was on the cloud. Remember, he said that he had to do a factory reset. But everything was in the cloud. They got all of that information. Her mother should be charged. She knew what this man, that he was having intercourse with her daughter. She knew it. He even joked about the fact that that there was a little competition between them for his attention. What's funny about that? Watch the people you bring around your kids, please. This is disgusting.
a case like this, the images themselves cannot be distributed. They can't be made public. That would be a violation of the law. So the best that can be done for the public to really understand.
I want to know if they're going to show these pictures in court, because they have them on his phone. I want to know if they're going to show this in court unredacted. I'm wondering, Heidi, if they're waiting for his trial to be over and then charge. Ooh, could be, because she has some kinds of wonky what I want to say, I can't even think right now. Immunity. She has some kind of wonky immunity. His case could help convict her and bet it'll show up in trial she was pregnant. That's what I'm trying to fix. They haven't released anything about her. So when I heard this lady saying that it was blunt force trauma, woman, you don't know that. The autopsy report has never been released. You think so too, huh? Everybody's thinking this young girl was pregnant. When she said she wanted to go run away and live in the woods by herself, that right there told me something was wrong. We remember when I played that interview, when she was talking to the news station, I said right there, he was back there playing with a bird, cuckoo, cuckoo, and all this stuff. And she's sitting there with this stupid smirk on her face. And then he gets in front of TV cameras like he done squeezed and rubbed lemon or onions in his eye. And she is hugging him. She's not crying, but he's faking tears. Get the hell out of here.
And is descriptions. Do they give any more specifics? And the reason I'm asking is we're never going to see these images, but I think it's important to understand what is actually depicted here.
Absolutely, Vinny. So I just read from that unredacted affidavit. Now, this is the case supplemental report also provided by police. And again, want to warn viewers that it gets way into more graphic detail in these descriptions of the images and video files. So we'll start with the first one here. It says description, video file depicting a prepubescent female resembling redacted, who we can rightfully assume is Madeline, that's her name because she was a minor, who would have been redacted months old. Madeline is laying next to Stephan in a bed watching cartoons on the television. Stephan is asking Madeline to put his penis in her mouth for 3 seconds as he counts. Stephan states Madeline would not be able to play with the phone unless she did it. Moving along here, Vinny, the second one says, description, image file depicting redacted, approximately redacted years old. Stephan is inserting his finger into redacted, again assumed to be Madeline's name, redacted's vagina while she appears to be sleeping.
Do we see this? Stephan approximately, I don't know how old she is, maybe 11. Stephan is inserting his finger into Madeline's vagina while she appears to be sleeping.
Another one, Vinny. Description, image file depicting Madeline approximately redacted years old. Stephan is inserting his penis into Madeline's mouth while she appears to be sleeping. And the last one I pulled here, Vinny, of course, there was hundreds, not thousands again, of descriptions. Image file depicting Madeline approximately redacted years old. Stephan is inserting his penis into Madeline's...
Into her anus. Stephan is inserting his penis into Madeline's anus. Madeline's identity is confirmed by a small birthmark that is right above her anus. This same mark is seen in several other photographs of Madeline.
Anus. Madeline's identity is confirmed by a small birthmark that is right above her anus. This same mark is seen in several other photographs of Madeline. So again, Vinny, just incredibly just grotesque and egregious and arguably infuriating to some.
Right, well, and I think it's important. Thanks for doing that, Cody. I know it's not easy, but to understand what this really is. So, Gisela, can you give us a little more context now about where these images are? And it seems like it's videos as well as still images. Yep. Where and when all of this, these pictures are being taken, these videos are being taken, and the sex abuse is happening.
So there were about 1,700 images and or videos, and those were all taken over the span of a number of years just from what they found from his Google Cloud account that backed up to his phone after he'd factory reset it. So from approximately when Madeline Soto was 8 years old.
Oh my God, she was 8. I thought they said he started abusing her when she was 11. She was 8 years old. Oh my God.
And in some of those, his face is in them. He's performing all these horrific acts on a child with his face showing sometimes, with his clothing identifiable, her bedding, her underwear, things like that. So, I mean, it would usually be when she appeared to be sleeping, but sometimes she was awake because we know she drew in her diary as well, you know, some of the acts that were being done to her. So she was aware of some of it.
And how about her mom, Jen Soto? You know, every time this story and these crimes are discussed, people are wondering about Jen Soto. Do we know if she's in the home at the time this is happening? Is there any evidence of that? How surprised was she when these images were uncovered by investigators?
I mean, she didn't seem all that surprised. It was actually terrible to see just her lack of concern and reaction. In fact, she had sympathy for Stephan Stones and wanted to get him a lawyer while her child was missing, and they showed her this horrific evidence. She was in the home for most of the time during these years because she wasn't working, she was on disability, and she said she was home most of the time. So yes, we all do wonder.
She was concerned about Stephan Stones. She wanted to get him a lawyer. Your daughter is still missing. You're concerned about him, and you want to get him a lawyer. Got you, girl.
How could this all have taken place when she was at home, and how did she not know?
He knew.
All right, Gizla K is going to stick around for later on in the program. Cody Thomas, thank you so much. Coming up next, did he consent to the search of the phone?
Did they see your taking item from you?
Yes, they did.
Is Karen Reed a killer?
A Google account?
Will a jury finally?
Yeah, I think it backs up to Google. And then sometimes when you reset your phone and your phone updates and puts these apps back on your phone, sometimes they will put the images back on your phone. I'm not sure.
Oh, he definitely wasn't sure. He didn't understand that part of it. He did a factory reset of his phone, but all those images that were on the cloud came raining back down, and investigators were able to get their hands on it. But right now, Stephan Stones wants the judge to suppress the evidence that was accessed from his phone and from his Google account. He's saying it wasn't done lawfully. So he's in court testifying on this issue. Here he is talking about what he consented to and what he did not consent to. Take a listen.
During your contact with law enforcement, did they see or take an item from you?
Yes, they did.
What item was that?
That would be my cell phone.
Do you know what type of cell phone it was?
It was a Samsung Galaxy, I believe it was a 24.
And what was your understanding as to what they were going to do with it?
They were just going to check my Google Maps and check to see if I was logged into Google, and that was it. That was all I agreed to.
Did you have the opportunity to see what law enforcement was doing on your cell phone?
No. As a constable was still talking to me, Tabler walked away and began searching other things in the night.
Amber, before you came in, I think before Texas Girl came in, I discussed a little bit about how I felt about this whole shit this weekend. And I'm really not happy at all about any of it. I just can't be. It doesn't sit well with me at all.
Isn't it true that she actually handed your phone back
She
to you?
didn't consent.
Briefly, when she told me to input my PIN because it had locked itself.
So he's saying he consented for them to look at Google Maps, but not to access all those images. And this brings us to the next question in our investigation. Did he consent to the search of the phone that resulted in all those images being found by investigators that are now the subject of this first trial where he's facing life in prison? Joining us.
Let me ask a question. When you're under arrest, and I need to look this up. When you're under detainment, arrest for suspicion of murder or kidnapping or whatever, do you have to consent? If they received a search warrant, they don't need your consent. The question is, did they have a search warrant to search his phone? That's what we need I think we're going to find out.
Forensic death investigator and host of the very popular Body Bags podcast, Joseph Scott Morgan, and criminal defense attorney with experience in homicide, sexual assault, and child abuse, and a former sex crimes prosecutor. The man who taught me when I started as a prosecutor, even though I think I'm older than he is. Ken Ralph is with us. Great to see you, Ken. Great to see you, Joseph. Joseph, put us.
Okay, nobody. What do you mean hiding? What do you mean hiding? They were hid accidentally, and it was fixed. If you're talking about someone being hidden in my chat, it was an accident. Someone did it by mistake, and they fixed it.
Put us in the mind of the investigators here, because when they're accessing his phone, there is a missing girl. They're looking for 13-year-old Madeline Soto. She's gone. Yeah. They don't know where she is, and they don't know where he was. They're trying to access his story. What are their concerns at that moment, and why not get a warrant?
Well, because they don't know where she is, and time is of the essence anytime that you're working a case like this where you have a missing child. And of course, he's going to be the primary, he's going to be literally the font or the wellspring of all knowledge relative to her whereabouts, because they know that he's probably the last person that had contact with her. So they're going to that. They want to try to determine where he has been, what he has been doing. Now, as far as the consent goes, he's consented to allow them to take a look at his phone. You know, I don't know what passed between them or what they necessarily said to him to have him hand that phone over, but they saw something on there. And just because they find it doesn't necessarily mean that that they were doing anything nefarious necessarily. Their goal right now is just to find where Maddie is.
Now, Ken, I want to play for you some of the testimony from the detective talking about this back and forth and how it went that day when they got their hands on his phone. Let's take a listen.
At some point during your interaction with him, do you request for Mr. Stearns to take out his cell phone?
Yes.
Or to look at his cell phone?
Yes.
Can you remember where the cell phone was, where the defendant's cell phone was when you asked this question?
I do not. It was in his possession, but I don't recall where he grabbed the phone from.
Did the defendant consent to allowing you to look at his phone?
Yes.
Who entered the passcode into the phone?
Stephan.
Does the defendant ever communicate to you any limitations on what it is that you're doing?
He does not.
Does the defendant ever attempt, either verbally, physically, or in any type of way, to cease the search of the phone?
He does not.
And at that point, it was just to check whether he was logged into his Google, right?
Correct.
Not going through the entirety of his phone.
Correct.
You never asked him, can I go through the entirety of your phone?
He was standing next to me while I was on his phone.
Okay, so it's your basis that he has to say no, you can just keep digging until he says stop?
Correct.
All right, Ken Ralph, should prosecutors be concerned at all here about the way the phone was searched and the images were accessed?
Well, they should always be concerned, Vinny, because obviously there's very key and critical information there that's in that phone to their prosecution. So yes, they have to be concerned. The suppression motion is a big weapon for the defense in this case to use. The takeaway from that testimony is that Mr. Stearns gave the passcode to be able to open the phone to the detective. So that suggests consent. Now, of course, that has to be seen in the context of the totality of the circumstances. You know, what was said to him before that, what led him to do that, and then what transpired after. But yes, this is obviously critical evidence, and it's a very important.
Look at this shit. 12 to 18, 12 to 18. It's disgusting.
Motion for both sides in this this criminal case.
Yeah, and Joseph, if you put yourself in the mind of Stephan Stearns, I know it's an ugly place to be, but I feel like he felt like he was safe because of he accidentally did a factory reset on his phone. Yep. I don't think he had any.
He didn't know. He had no idea. no idea if you factory reset your phone, that shit you have stored is going to come. Once you put your password and stuff back in there, it's going to all come back in, dummy.
Any idea that
dummy
that stuff would be able to be accessed because of the cloud?
Yeah, I'm sure that he didn't. He's moved forward and thinking that all of this nefarious activity that he has engaged in, allegedly, and documented photographically, and I guess from a videography standpoint as well, if we are to believe everything we've heard. He thinks that this factory reset is going to wipe all of this stuff out. But here's the thing. I can't imagine that this police officer standing there for that moment in time would have borne witness to all of those items at that particular time. And give you kind of a little reference. If a police officer walks into a residence, okay, and they're doing like a check of that residence, say a welfare check, and they discover a body.
Look how he's looking. Look how he's looking at the sheriff. He's trying to see, is he going to find it? Look at his eyes. Exactly, Gwen. Exactly. Gwen, I hope you had a good time on your birthday. Exactly. He didn't accidentally do anything. He thought it was going to wipe the phone clean.
That has like multiple defects in it and got blood that's issued forth from the body. They suspect a homicide. They're generally going to back out of that residence and then acquire a warrant at that point in time, because you can't, the Constitution protects us citizens.
Her last birthday, look at that. Her last birthday. So we have Kamani Latique. Hi, Texas girl. We have Madeline. We still don't know where Sebastian is. And oh my God, Mama Rissa has a series going on TikTok about Julie Slotnick, whatever her name is, that weird ass woman. Oh my God. Amber, you should, well, you don't have TikTok. Well, I don't know if you do or not. She's telling you all the red flags about this woman and the misinformation that she's putting out there.
From them going around and nosing through our environment, particularly hidden places. So if she had seen something at that point in time that was, indicative of his documenting of all of these misdeeds, then it's at that point in time that she would have either retained the phone, set it aside, and waited to get a warrant and get somebody whose hands could be on it that would know how to download those images at that point in time.
Ken, let me ask you, as a sex crimes prosecutor, are you surprised that all of this?
Her name is Mama Rissa on TikTok. She's doing a series on Julie Slotnick, the one that's on YouTube.
This material was so easily accessible and it wasn't encrypted. He didn't keep it in some separate place where only he could get it, that it was sort of floating in the cloud and back and forth to his phone. And this is over the course of years, these pictures.
Unfortunately, Vinny, I think the dynamic of this type of offender is they do build these collections and they do want their collections to be accessible to them. At least I believe that's the mindset that I've heard in these situations. So I suppose it's not surprising, no. And it makes law enforcement's job somewhat easier if, like you say, it's not encrypted, it's not hidden away in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's shocking. I mean, he was keeping this stuff on his phone over the course of years. Joseph Scott Morgan, we have like 10 seconds left here. What are your thoughts about Stephan Stearns? Do you think if he loses this, in his mind, he may fold? Or do you think he wants this public trial if all this evidence comes in?
No, I think he might fold. I think this is a tidal wave of data and evidence here. It's very damning.
All right, Joseph Scott Morgan, great to see you. Ken Ralph's going to stick around. Up next, does Jen Soto need to testify to prove the case?
No, she doesn't.
Patient.
She doesn't have to testify.
Madeline was reported missing. Authorities launched an extensive search, ultimately discovering her body in a remote area of Osceola County. The medical examiner determined she had been strangled. Investigators quickly focused on Stearns, the boyfriend of Madeline's mother, Jen Soto. Evidence revealed that Stearns had been allegedly sexually abusing Madeline for years. He was charged with
since she was 8 years old. Everything we were seeing before was between 10 and 11. They said these pictures are dating back to when she was 8 years old. What the hell?
With first-degree murder, capital sexual battery, and possession of child sexual abuse material. Stearns is currently in custody, awaiting trial, and could face the death penalty if convicted of Madeline's murder. Meanwhile, Madeline's mother has not been charged and may testify against Stearns. There are many disturbing facts connected to this case, and we've been talking a lot about them. But when you talk about the story and what happened to this 13-year-old and how this accused pedophile and murderer had access to this little girl over the course of years, when you talk about how he had access, you get to what is the one fact in all of this, and it's a fact, it's an admission, it's absolutely a fact in the case. I think that really gets people angry, it gets people upset, and we have a difficult time understanding it.
Say it.
As a matter of fact, I believe that Stephan Stearns' own parents had difficulty understanding this fact.
I'm gonna say this. We don't know, okay? We don't know. They haven't said anything about it. If any victims have come about him, we don't know yet. We probably won't find out until the trial. We know that another victim has come out for Shannon Sharp. We know that Denny turned down a plea deal because for some reason he thinks he's going to beat it. But we don't know about any more victims of Stephan Stearns. If there are, it hasn't been released to the public.
I want to play for you Jen Soto being questioned by police about the sleeping arrangements in their home, which has many bedrooms. I think it's 4 bedrooms.
But she had roommates too. I think she had 2 roommates. So that left 2 rooms. Her room, but then was it two roommates or 3? Because they say sometime Madeline would sleep in this little partition area. So let's see.
There are some people who rent rooms in this townhouse, but there are a whole bunch of rooms and beds all over. But take a listen to Jen Soto describing the sleeping arrangements for her, Stephan Stearns, and her young daughter.
You guys are sleeping in the same bed together. You guys are all cohabitating. She's not sleeping in her room. But you felt the need to establish a rule that they couldn't sleep in the same room. But when you established that rule, for 3 years, she's already been dating him, essentially. Whether that's legal or not.
I had no idea. If I knew anything, I promise you, I would tell you. Like, I am willing to take a lie detector test, whatever the you want, but I don't know anything. He's never mentioned anything. I've never seen any signs. I tried watching her like a hawk. I thought I was doing a good job, but I wasn't. I was oblivious to this every 4 years.
Minimum. That's just how that far back the cloud goes. And I find it hard to believe for me that you were so worried about how many pills she took at night, but not where she slept or what relationship she was. His interest in her.
I thought we were all safe. I thought because that he hadn't shown me anything so far, like everything seems fine. Like he seemed like he treated her like
he treats you.
That's a horrendous fact.
Yep.
Now, she hasn't been charged with anything, but she is allowing and at times instructing Stephan Stearns to go up to the bedroom alone with her daughter. But now we've got...
How many women in here would say, hey, I need to get some rest. Could you and my daughter, not the father, Go sleep in this room tonight because I'm tired and I need to get some rest. Would you let your daughter go sleep with a man that's not her father? Would you? And how many of you will let your daughter go sleep with their father after a certain age? Or period. This shit is crazy.
We've got a case.
Yes. Yes, Gwen. She would tell them to go upstairs in the other room and go to sleep because she needed her rest for them to sleep together. Yes.
Involving all these images found on Stephan Stern's phone. She lives in the house. She's the mother of the victim, the ex-girlfriend of the defendant, which brings us to the next question in our investigation. Does Jen Soto need to testify to prove the case?
No.
Do prosecutors have to call the mother to the witness stand?
No.
To prove the case involving all the images that were found on that phone? Here with us, creator and host of the Grizzly True Crime YouTube channel, has been following this case, breaking news on it. Gisela Kay is with us, and criminal defense attorney with experience in homicide, sexual assault, and child abuse. He's a former sex crimes prosecutor. Ken Ralph is with us as well. Gisela, first of all, do you believe that she will testify for the state, for prosecutors against Stephan Stearns?
That's the general consensus, but honestly, I think it's a little risky if the state will put her on the stand, because imagine the cross-examination. I mean, she could be an unreliable witness. She could really make the jury think, what's going on here? Because she...
That's the thing. He said you were more concerned about how many pills she was taking. I think they were giving her pills. I really do believe that.
She's so sympathetic to Stephan Stearns. I don't know if it will be good for their case or not, but I think she's going to testify either way.
Okay, Ken, you know what it takes to prove a case like this. I want to put this up on the screen. I'm going to read parts of it. There's parts I'm not comfortable reading. But it has to do with the images and some of the identifying marks that are found in the images. From his arrest warrant, based on photos from his phone that investigators saw, the male sexual unit observed penetrating the victim had distinct marking on it, which consisted of bright pinkish colored skin below the top of this sexual unit. I'm using different words, I don't know, until approximately a quarter of the length down the rest of it. You can read it, folks.
Several other pictures capturing this distinct pattern were observed on the phone. Further, as the affidavit was reviewing the pictures and videos, I was observing several different pieces of clothing to include pattern underwear, shirts, blankets, and sheets. Simultaneously, detectives of the Orange County Sheriff's Office were executing a search warrant at Stephan Stearns' home address. They gave the whole damn address. This address is also where the victim and mother live. The detectives searching the residence was contacted and confirmed they found the same distinctive clothing both in Stephan's room and the victim's room. Based on the totality of the circumstances, your affidavit has probable cause to believe Stephan committed sexual battery on the victim. There you go.
I'll give you a moment to read it to yourselves. So, Ken, if this...
They're also saying that the videos were located which depicted the missing juvenile with her breast, vagina, and anal opening as a focal point of the pictures/videos. These were also pictures and videos depicting the missing juvenile's vagina and mouth being penetrated by a penis. As such, the files depict the sexual performance of a child. Your affiant, which is Stephan Stearns, has probable cause, which is the police, has probable cause to believe Stephan was in possession of material depicting the sexual performance of a child.
This is a case where the assault is being done. You don't see the face of the person committing the assault, but you see a part of their body. Do you need someone like a girlfriend to identify that part of the body, to recognize it?
No.
Vinny, generally speaking, this is really a need versus want question. And the prosecutor is probably going to start with the want part of that question. Do we want Madeline Soto to testify?
Jen Soto. Madeline's the victim.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jen.
I'm sorry. Jen Soto, my error. Do I want Ms. Soto to testify? And I think the answer to that question is no.
No.
For the reasons you pointed out earlier. She's sympathetic to the defendant, and she has really a lack of concern at some points for Madeline, her daughter, who is the victim in this case. So I think the prosecutor is going to take a look at the evidence, see, hey, can I prove these things through other means?
Yes.
Do I have other witnesses who could testify?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you,
facts?
he never. I don't believe we ever see his face. Let me ask Gisela. Gisela, is it clear or unclear? Because we're obviously not going to see the images.
So the other guy that came up that read the other parts of the affidavit said that you can see his face and the victim's face in several of the videos and pictures, because they were able to tell that he was laying next to her in bed and he was videotaping, and he told her to put his penis in her mouth for 3 seconds or she won't be able to get her cell phone. So yes.
From the descriptions, is his face shown in any of these videos, or is he just videoing, himself below the saggy midsection that we're looking at right now?
Actually, sometimes you see his face.
You do.
I think that is damning evidence. You do.
See? Told you. You see his face.
You see his face and you hear his voice.
All right. So, Ken, does that negate the need for her for an identification?
Oh.
Do you need to identify the victim in any way?
He have 3 belly. What is this? What is that? Wait a minute. Is that 3 belly buttons? He has a hole here, a hole there, and a hole there. What the fuck is going on there? You see the holes? Jesus.
Below the saggy midsection that we're looking at right now.
Actually, sometimes you see his face.
You do.
I think that is damning evidence. You do. You see his face and you hear his voice.
All right. So, Ken, does that negate the need for her for an identification? Do you need to identify the victim in any way? Like you see her face, you'll see body parts that were described earlier in the program, but do you need the mother of the victim? Can you get a different relative to do it?
Yes,
how would you do that part of the case to ID the victim and the age of the victim in all of these videos?
Absolutely, Vinny. There's going to be a whole, you rattled off a whole number of issues right there. The prosecutor's going to go down that checklist and say, hey, do I have another witness who can testify to that? Is there a hearsay exception that gets something in? Is there physical evidence that supports this element? And to try to check off all those boxes. And if they can check off all those boxes that they need to prove without having Jen Soto to testify to those facts, I think they will not have her testify. There's too much baggage.
She needs to be prosecuted. She needs to be charged. Even if it's child neglect, she needs to be charged with something. I don't care what it is. Lock that bitch up.
As pointed out earlier, too many issues for cross-examination, questions about why wasn't she charged, questions about why she let this go on in the first place. And it seems like it would drag the case down in a way that's not necessary at all.
And Gisela, what Ken is just describing is every chat in every live stream probably that you've done about this case, right? Inevitably, the chat goes to Jen Soto. Yep. How could she do this? Why couldn't she do this? Yep. And I look at the folks in the chats on the live streams like jurors, right? This is where they naturally go.
Yes, we're an international mock jury online. At least that's how I see it. And everybody's wondering, what is she going to say if she testifies?
She doesn't need to testify. What is she testifying about? Oh, I let them go sleep together. Oh my God, I didn't know. I'm surprised. No, you're not. You're not surprised. Not at all. Not at all. You're fake. I saw that in that interview with that news reporter. You knew what was going on. You probably knew. You were in the home that morning when your daughter was unalived in that house. Shut the fuck up.
For the state. Can you imagine? I think she's actually going to be a good defense witness. If they call her up, that'll be interesting. I'm surprised Stephan Stearns hasn't thrown her under the bus yet.
How about that, Ken? How about that? The defense calling her. Is there a way to somehow make her the true villain in all of this, to try to mitigate the case in some strange way?
I think she did anything she could to keep that piece of shit of a man, even knowing he was touching and molesting her child. He said in the calls to his family that it was a running joke between them, between Madeline and her mother, because they used to oogle him all the time. Like he was so handsome. What the fuck? Where are you handsome at? I was like, wait a minute, what? And his dad was just like, oh, yeah, okay.
Your choice of the word villain is an excellent one, Vinny, because every case needs a villain. And right now, the prosecution has the finger to point at the villain, and that's Stephan Stearns. Now, he'll if it gets to the point where he's putting on a defense case, it's going to be a point of desperation at that point, and he may very well have to put her on, Ms. Soto, that is, and start attacking her and suggesting that she was so permissive about everything that was going on and overlooked so many things that perhaps there's some alternative theory of who did this. And remember, the defense doesn't have to prove any of these facts; they just have to create reasonable doubt.
And Gisela, in all of the images, there's never been a reference that there's a third person in the room. It's always just Stearns and Madeline.
I've never seen a reference to another person. So we all wonder that as well. They did check Jen Soto's phone, they checked Maddie's phone and Stephan Stearns' phone. So it seems like it's just him facing those charges.
And Ken, if she has not been charged...
I dropped the link in case anybody wants to come up and have a discussion about this, because this, to me, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that they haven't even charged her with anything. Even though she said the sex wasn't bad, it was the unaliving. And you have sympathy for a man that did this to your daughter and has been doing this to your daughter since she was 8 years old. You're not telling me that you were not aware of what was going on. You're not going to tell me that, because I'm never going to believe that, ever.
To this point, do you think there's any chance that she gets charged that down the road for anything, whether it's related to the images or to the murder, if she to this day has not been charged or named as a suspect?
Well, I think it would seem highly unlikely that she would get charged after all this time. If there was any sort of agreement that she made, maybe that she was going to testify in lieu of getting charged, that would have to come out before the trial. But there's been no suggestion that happened. It just seems like the choice has been made not to charge her.
Yeah, and it seems every time we're asking folks down there, what are investigators saying about it, and whether it's on the record, off the record, it's always there is no evidence to suggest that she committed any crimes, or we don't have evidence that she committed a crime. So that's kind of where it stands. Big thank you, Gisela K, Grizzly True Crime. Check it out on YouTube in about 18 minutes after the show ends. And Ken Ralph, always great to see you. Thank you so much. Still to come, will Stephan Stearns' new appearance help him with the jurisms? Everything about him just kind of oozed and eked, and no one had a good feeling about it, right? And again, I don't want to be mean, but I'm just giving you my reaction, the reaction that I've seen from others when looking at him. He looks different now, which brings us to the next question in our investigation, which is, will his new appearance help him with the jury?
Nope.
He's inside the courtroom and he looks way different, like way different. Joining me to help us with this question,
oh my God,
jury consultant.
If we think about it, how many sex rings have Grady and all of them done in the since Madeline's death? How many child trafficking rings? How many child pornography rings? I wouldn't put it past him at all. Did he work at Epcot or was it Disney? He was around kids all the time. I wouldn't put anything past him. Nothing.
Human behavior expert, body language expert. Also, down there in the Orlando area where all this is happening, Susan Constantine. Susan, great to see you. First of all, a general question. How important and how much does it impact the jury, just the appearance of a defendant inside a courtroom?
Even with her statement that she would send them upstairs to go to bed. Even with in the same room, even with the statement that, you know, the sex wasn't bad, but the unaliving was. It was like you have no feelings for what your daughter went through. That's what it comes across to me. You did anything you could. Yeah, Epcot is Disney, but I wanted to make sure that he wasn't at the, you know what I mean, Epcot. I wasn't sure if he was at Disney, you know, or he was at just, anyway, Epcot Center. Okay.
Even if they never testify.
Well, first impressions matter, right? So the minute it's optics that they look at him, they're going to assess based on what they hear in the opening statements. Does he look guilty? Does he look the part? Based on what we've seen before, that kind of villain or the vampire look they had, that's
a good description. Vampire. He's sort of a vampire type of guy. I want to put up on the screen so everyone can see his renewed look. Let's take a look, because he looks, to me, way different. And I know it's just probably a haircut. He may also be bulking up based upon some of the food he's eating. But the hair is very short. The beard is more trimmed. His face just looks different. What are your thoughts about this new appearance?
Well, if I were, I'm going to take aside my own personal feelings about this case, but if I were the jury and if I were the jury consultant in this, I would have said, yes, cut his hair off. He has this very distinct yin and yang look, the black and the white, where the top area is black, the bottom is white. He just has a really odd coloring. So I think by taking the hair all the way down is a better appearance. But again, first impressions matter. I'd like to be able to see what the jury's responses will be when they see him in the courtroom. And I'll tell you what, Vinny, I'm going to be there. So hopefully I'll be able to see him in person and see what he looks like
Look at this.
There.
Fantastic. I want to do some before and after shots here, just to demonstrate the contrast. And from your perspective, what you see from the body language. I know it's a still photo, but the difference between before on the left and after on the right.
Let's see. The beard is maintained better. His ears look a little smaller. Let's see. His eyebrows have been taken down. His face is fuller. What else is going on? You can't see his eyes up here. He's still creepy as fuck.
Right.
Sure, on the left with his head down, right? He's got the camouflage with the slight with a hat and so forth. But right here, he's in deep processing. I believe what he was doing was eye blocking here. He was almost appearing as if he was sleeping, but that really disheveled look and the hoodie and all of that just screams the villain, right? He looks like he would smell like a like a predator, right?
Yeah,
but then look at the right-hand side. We see concern. His face is more, is more apparent. So you can see his features. And he has a nicer appearance there. It's kind of hard for me to say nicer because I don't think
I know it's difficult because I know who we're talking about in the allegations, etc. I've got another split screen for you. On the left will be, I believe, his mug shot. And then on the right, again, another shot from his most recent court appearance. And again, I see it's almost, the face is almost a different shape, but it may just be because of the shaving, etc.
Right, because he doesn't have any hair in his face, and I'm sure with him being in jail, and remember he complained about the food and so forth, he's probably not eating as well. And his face is a little bit thinner, it's more gaunt. But I mean, when you're looking at his face on the right-hand side, his eyebrows kind of pulled up, you see the wrinkles across his forehead, his chin is kind of pulled in. So he's obviously heard something with his eyes wide open that kind of startled him or kind of was a little off-putting. Compared to the right one, he's very flat. His affect is flat, his eyes are more fixated. punctuated. He has no expression whatsoever. So he looks very detached. So I think by looking at the two people, you wouldn't really know they were the same person. So that might be better for him. But although keep in mind, there's going to be lots of photos and videos of him, the way he looks before than after, and they're going to draw the correlation.
All right, I want to play just a piece of him speaking in court, Susan, and get your analysis of what you're seeing from him. We have about a minute and a half left. Let's take a look.
Can you please state and spell your last name for the record?
Stephan Stearns, S-T-E-R-N-S.
And what was your understanding as to what they were going to do with it?
They were just going to check my Google Maps and check to see if I was logged into Google, and that was it. That was all I agreed to.
I know we're not seeing his face, but what are you seeing from the backside, and what are you hearing there?
Right. So, I mean, he's very articulate. When he is stating his name, he's saying it slowly. He's, punctuating every single letter. But then we kind of see this little bobble. Do you see that right beforehand? That's just cognitive load. That's part of anxiety and nervousness. And of course, he would be in this particular situation.
I've got time to show you one more quick one. Let's take a look. This is his police interview before he's arrested.
What happened to your phone?
No idea what happened to my phone. I was pushing off doing this update for a while and ended up trying to do it. I don't know what the hell, my head being in the state it was, I wasn't paying attention. I ended up somehow doing some sort of option that updated the OS, but it ended up wiping my phone at the same time.
We have about 20 seconds here. Big contrast, right?
Yes. Well, first of all, liar, liar, pants on fire. He's very guarded, looking down, not making any eye contact. His voice is lowered. He also sounds very victim-like. So overall, when we're looking at his body language, he's very suspect, especially if I were in the investigation room. I'd be watching them be pulling up all of those indicators. Those are high suspect behavioral indicators. So I certainly would have my eyes on him.
And they did. Susan Constantine, thank you so much. We will speak again.
So, thank you, Vinny. So, again, this man is sick. They don't need Jennifer Soto to testify. They have the images, as far as I'm concerned. They have the images. They have everything they need. I just don't see why she hasn't been charged with anything. I don't understand why they haven't charged her with anything. Now, this story, I didn't cover this one, but this happened last year. And I really want your reaction to this story because this was a young mother who had gone to the hospital the day before. She was in excruciating pain. I'm going to let you know that I'm going to try to grab the image before it pops up. Okay. She went to the emergency room. They refused to see her. They told her to go to another hospital that was like 20 minutes away when she was screaming in pain. They called 911. They told them she was already at the hospital. They won't come get her to take her to another hospital. So now there's a big lawsuit over what happened.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. According to the lawsuit, her baby died after she gave birth to him in her car in the parking lot of the hospital because, she claims, the staff refused to treat her. CBS 8's Kelly Hessedal joins us from Sharp Grossmont with what's in this lawsuit and the emotional interview with the woman's mother.
Hannah Michaelis is 30 years old. According to the lawsuit, she came here to Sharp Grossmont with her mother because she was having severe cramps, but she says the hospital staff wouldn't treat her. Things got so bad, her mother called 911 from the hospital parking lot, begging for help.
Sorry, medical emergency. Hello, I'm at Sharp Grossmont Hospital for Women and Newborns. My daughter's in the car. She's 6 months pregnant, and she's having excruciating pain.
Carla Michaelis called 911 on May 5th of last year from Sharp Grossmont's parking lot, desperate to find someone to help her daughter, Hannah.
They said they can't really see her here because if she is in labor, the baby, they can't take care of it. So they told me to take her to UCSD. I can't drive her to UCSD. She's in excruciating pain. She's screaming.
Unfortunately, the fire department, if you're at the hospital, we don't respond to the hospital to take you to a different hospital. And you went in there and talked to them?
Carla
She
hung
hung
up on
up.
the dispatcher, shaking and confused. She says she had just been to Sharp Grossmont the day before with Hannah and was told to return if there were any issues. The next closest hospital was at least 20 minutes away.
There's a whole team of nurses sitting there, and that's their job, and nobody could help me.
Meanwhile, the 911 dispatcher Carla had just talked to called Sharp Grossmont.
I just had a mother call in. I guess she has her daughter. Are you guys with her? Or I don't. She hung up on me, and I don't know what happened. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. She's yelling and screaming. I have a nurse going out to her car right now. She was told to go to UCSD yesterday if she had any further complications, and she just kind of stormed out and said she was going to call 911, and I was like, no, they're not going to take you to another hospital. Anyway, she's here, so thank you.
Okay, so I just want to confirm you guys do not need the fire department. You guys will handle, correct?
No, we do not need the fire department.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye.
According to the lawsuit, Hannah birthed her child into her underwear, just steps from the hospital entrance.
There was blood all over the seat. Her water had broken in the front seat of my car. She said, something else is wrong, Mom. I put my hand in my pants and I could feel his body.
She says the hospital...
Okay, I'm going to have to jump because the picture of that baby is very disturbing. And hold on. Let me put up something. I'm going to just let you listen to it because the picture of the baby is disturbing.
Here are photos of her with baby Samuel, born at just 24 weeks, his tiny body hooked up to machines.
His head was so bruised, and his chest from the delivery and from the transport.
He'd suffered a stage 4 brain bleed. After 5 days, Carla says the doctors could no longer stabilize him. Samuel's parents made the heartbreaking decision.
They decided to take him off of everything except for his intubation tube so she could have skin-to-skin contact with him until he stopped breathing.
CBS 8 spoke to Amy Martell, a medical malpractice attorney who is not
Okay,
connected
I
to
can
this
take
case.
it off again
She
for a
says under
minute,
the Emergency
and
Medical
then I'll have
Treatment
to
and
put it
Labor
back on
Act,
again.
hospitals are required to examine anyone that presents to an emergency room with an emergency medical condition.
The law is specifically designed to preclude and prevent any type of discrimination. So whether it's you can't afford it, whether you were doing drugs, whether you made a bad choice and got in a car accident,
Exactly.
once you present to the emergency room, it doesn't matter why you got there.
Exactly.
According to baby Samuel's death certificate, he died from severe intracranial hemorrhage, non-traumatic, extreme prematurity, and preterm labor. Carla believes if he had been born in a hospital bed and had received care immediately, he would have survived.
You failed us. His job is to take care of babies.
Kelly Hessedal, CBS 8.
Thank you, Kelly.
So,
a memorial service was held for baby Samuel in Tennessee near his father's family home. CBS 8 reached out to Sharp Grossmont Hospital for comment on this lawsuit, but a spokesperson told us they did not comment on pending litigation.
And nobody wanted to help them. They want to, and this is a hospital for newborn babies. She had been there the day before, and they basically refused treatment to the mother and that child. Do you think they had a right to sue the hospital? Hi, Party Rock. Oh my God, Michelle, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But do you think they have a right to lawsuit? I think they do. And that hospital is going to pay. They will pay for what happened. If that child would have been born in that hospital where she needed to be at, I do believe that baby would have made it. But the fact that she still had her clothes on, the child had a brain bleed, everything, it's crazy. Everybody has a right to sue. The point is, do you think they are liable? And they are liable. Anybody can sue anybody. You can sue anybody. She was in the parking lot. Matter of fact, she was actually pulled up to the emergency thing right there. Anybody can sue. I think they have a really, really good case. And then London Thomas, who had been missing, she has now been found. Of course, she's now deceased. All of these young girls. And I'm going to look because there was a house where they found 30 children buried in the backyard. And I need to get that story together. 30 children were found in the backyard, buried.
Breaking news alert.
We begin with that breaking news, a tragic update to a story we've been following for weeks. Family of London Thomas tells us the 17-year-old's body has been found. It's been 3 weeks since London was last seen. 7 News Detroit reporter Tiara Braddock live in Southfield for us tonight. And Tiara, lots of questions remain tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Whitney. And London's mom texted me about an hour and a half ago saying that her daughter was, quote, "It's true, she's gone." Now, just a sad situation.
I wonder if she has a Porsche wig on. That looks natural.
Only 17 years old, and sources tell us that her body was found in Southfield near the area of 8 Mile and Telegraph.
But they were equipped. It's a hospital for newborn babies and mothers. I mean, that's what the hospital was for. She had been there the day before. They told her to come back if she experienced any more complications. They are equipped. And if they weren't equipped, they get her in there, they stabilize her, and then they'll transport her to another hospital. Just like that young man when that kaboom happened, wherever it was, Pennsylvania, whatever, when a helicopter crashed, they got this young child to a hospital that wasn't able to, but they stabilized him and then moved him to a burn hospital. So they should have got her in that hospital.
Information is just preliminary, and so I want everyone to keep that in mind. We've been following this case for weeks now. She went missing on April 5th from Inkster. Police, family, and even complete strangers have been searching for her. Last week, police raided the home of London's boyfriend, which is in Inkster. Now, that's where she was last seen. Police have confirmed the 23-year-old is a person of interest in London's disappearance. We spoke to London's dad.
Well, she's 17. The boyfriend is 23. Huh. 6 years older. Okay.
Weeks ago at one of the search parties. Hear what he had to say about his daughter.
London is my best friend. She's a good kid. She's very talented. She's down to earth. Everybody love her. She do hair and makeup. She's well known. She's a little artist. She like to rap and dance.
She looks like a kid here. There she looks like she's in the club. Sorry, not sorry.
Saying.
Just a very sad situation. Now, we are still trying to find out more details about exactly what's surrounding her death and where she was found. But once we figure out that information, we'll be sure to make sure everyone knows online and at home. But for now, we're just going to figure out some stuff out here, Whitney.
All right, Tiara, thank you so much for your live reporting. Hard details to hear there. And we know this is a case so many of you have been following at home.
Yep,
as Tiara said, we'll continue to bring you updates on air and online at WXYZ.com. That's where you can also find our previous coverage on this case.
Yeah, so I was following the case and I didn't get a good feeling about it from the beginning. And I have no idea. I just smelled something bad. Really, really bad. This is my first time hearing how old her boyfriend was. So I had no idea how old her boyfriend was at all. Uh, well, what happened to me? I left work miscarrying, and they sent me to another hospital because the hospital wasn't equipped. See, that hospital, Gwen, that's something different. She had been there the day before, and they told her to come back if she's experiencing any other complications or any other issues. If they didn't tell her that the day before, I'm sure her mother would have took her someplace else. But she was in that car screaming. They called 911. They couldn't do anything because she was already at the hospital. They couldn't do anything. She was there the day before. The day before, she was there. So my thing is, what the hell? And that hospital, it says newborns. It's Sharp Grossmont. Hold on, let me look it up. Sharp Grossmont. Hold on. Sharp Grossmont? Yeah. Grossmont. Okay. Sharp Grossmont. What is it known for? Emergency hospital. There is nothing about they're not caring for a newborn baby. It says Sharp Grossmont Hospital for Women and Newborns. That's the name of it. That's where she was at. Sharp Grossmont Hospital for Women and Newborns. Why would they tell her to go to another hospital? Here it is right here. I know I saw newborn in the title. I know I'm not crazy. Here it is. Sharp Grossmont Hospital for Women and Newborns. There it is. It's in La Mesa, California. There it is. So what were they equipped to do? Deliver a baby? I think any hospital can deliver a baby. But if you go in there with a bunch of burns and stuff, like if you get shot up, they can get you in there. But if you're in trauma, like in Houston, the best trauma hospital in Houston is Ben Taub. They also take low income. But if you go to an emergency room and you don't have any insurance, it doesn't matter. You're supposed to be treated. They cannot turn you away because of lack of insurance. You can't do it. If you have cancer, they can't turn you away. They can't. They should have treated her exactly. What is the best cancer hospital? What is the best cancer hospital? What's the best? I was just talking to somebody about this not too long ago. The best cancer hospital is MD Anderson in Houston. One of the biggest hospital. That is the number one hospital. You have John Travolta brought his wife there. My cousin, both of my cousins with cancer went to MD Anderson. They got them in remission. My one cousin went back to work for Shell. She was over in Qatar. 6-7 years later, her cancer came back. It metastasized, and but MD Anderson, Texas girl, that's the thing. I don't know, but they told her to come back if she was experiencing any other complications the day before. So MD Anderson is the #1 cancer hospital. Doesn't matter if you have insurance or not. If you have insurance, great. But they will not refuse to treat you. They will treat you. People going, oh, I don't have insurance. I don't have this. Go to the emergency room. Go to the emergency room. Whether you have insurance or not, they cannot turn you away. They were at the emergency room. She was there the day before, and they told her to come back if she is experiencing other complications. She went back. Now, if you're a hospital that caters to women and newborns, wouldn't you be able to treat anything that's going on? Oh, for kids? Okay. See? Same thing. They stabilize you, and then they'll get you someplace else. Why didn't they do that for her? That is my question. That is a damn good lawsuit. I was going to ask Party Rock if they had a NICU. A lot of hospitals are not equipped to do a lot of things. But if she was, the baby, she was 26 weeks, 24 weeks, they should have told her to, if you having more issues, please go to such and such hospital. That's not what they told her. You heard the nurse. She said she was there the day before. But she said she told them to go to another hospital. That's not what the grandmother said. She said they told them to come back there. I'm sure if they would have told him to go to another hospital, they would have went there. Everything is in your chart. Here's the thing. Everything is in your chart. Most hospitals now have surveillance all up and down the floors. Everything is going to be in that chart. All they're going to have to do is get that chart and see what the doctor said. But you have a woman that was outside. You refused to go and get her and stabilize her, knowing she was pregnant. That's where I have a problem at. So anyway, that's my issue. That's my problem with the whole situation. When I saw this, I was like, wait the hell a minute. Yep. Snuggle, did you used to be a nurse? I don't remember if you used to be a nurse or not. So I was waiting. Have we got a sentence for do we have a sentence for Lori Daybell yet? I know she was found guilty. But anyway, that's what I wanted. That case with Kamani bothered me so much because I was like, I remember that case. I remember he said he was on the freeway, and for some reason, I kept thinking Maleah Harris, but I was looking and I saw the name. It's Maleah Davis, 4 years old. Yep, for 18 years. That's what I thought. They knew it. Exactly. You a nurse. They knew it. She was in distress. Definitely in distress. She even said that the woman was screaming. She even said it on the phone. The mother got so upset with 911, she hung up, and 911 turned around and called the hospital. She even said the woman was screaming. She was in distress. So, I think they have a damn good lawsuit. I really do. And I hope they take them for everything they have. Because this shouldn't have been. We don't know if the child would have been okay, but according to some medical experts, if the child would have been born in a hospital, he had a better rate of survival. The fact that she gave birth in her hydrea and the baby was born with a blank, that was the trauma and stress she was under. They could have got her stabilized. They could have did all kind of things. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. It didn't happen. Okay, that's right. That's what I thought. She had one. I couldn't remember, Drea. I couldn't remember. So anyway, again, I apologize for yesterday. I'm getting ready to set our live for tonight. My head was pounding. I really didn't feel well. And I listened to George's live for a bit. And right after, I think I just went completely out. I went completely out. My whole body was just, I had no energy, no nothing. And I didn't take one Aleve. I took two Aleves. That's probably why it knocked me the hell out. But I'm up. And Amber, are you in Texas, girl, going to be going live anytime soon? Because I've been telling everybody to watch The Ultimatum, which is really, really good. I did season 2 already, and I really am waiting for you guys to go live and discuss The Ultimatum. I really, really am. So I'm going to do that. And then tomorrow, Polly Family comes on, which is a new show on TLC. Debbie and I will cover that on Wednesday. We'll take care of that. But tonight we're going to do 90 Day Fiance. And I think I'll cover a little bit of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, or I'll just do that Wednesday night. I'm just tired. We should be. Okay, you guys should be. Because I know it is really a good show. It's better than Married at First Sight. So hopefully you guys start covering that. And you got me into it. So hopefully you do that. Is Jen Bailey still here? Jen Bailey, are you still here? I went and I listened to, I'm telling you, I couldn't go back to sleep. I listened to Jen's live. I didn't even know George went live again. I saw that. It was like 8 or 9 minutes. But I'm listening to Jen live. Jen, I have no idea what you're talking about when you say whatever, I was like, what are we talking about, Jen? I was like, what are we talking about? But I was like, she said, I think she must have said whatever, at least 18, 19 times. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to catch this later because I'm really probably not in the right frame of mind. Joyce did an 8-minute live yesterday. And he was talking about third-party harassment, that Roadhog was coming after him by supposedly something that was on his community tab. And Maria said that it had been deleted. And I saw his community post after that because, of course, I was asleep. So he said he was going to show the proof on his community tab. And he did. That was stated on Reddit. And I was like, keeping it real. I'm back in here. Had to check out for a minute. You okay, sister? So he did a quick live. It was like 8 minutes, I think. I think it was like 8 minutes. He did a live, and he says that he feels that he's being harassed. And you can't tell him how to feel. You really can't. But if that's his feeling, that's his feeling. So he said, I guess the previous live, he said that he had been threatened by someone. Well, he said he had been threatened by Roadhog, and he had no idea why, because he's never spoken of him. Come to find out, when he posted on his community tab that the company that found the 104 searches said most of those searches came from Indiana. And I guess they took it that he was talking about him, and that's not true. Yeah, Amber needs a cooking show. Amber is doing some amazing cooking, and she's into her Oriental phase right now. So, and I'm glad that you're putting those recipes there. Just like Ice Jen out for what? Oh, I also read, what was it? Whose community tab was it? Oh, I wanted to ask Hibernera a question, but I guess I'll send her a message, because I was going to tell her, if there's no proof that someone is an illegal immigrant, we shouldn't be putting that out there for people to run with. So if there's no proof that that Carlos is illegal, we really shouldn't be putting that out there so people can run with it. Why don't we ice Jen out? So what is Jen doing? Ooh, you're making a waffles for keto and you still doing the keto diet? Okay. So yeah, I saw her. I'm telling you, I couldn't sleep. I was up. I've been up since one something. Well, I laid back down, couldn't go back to sleep. So maybe around 2:15. But that's what. But I'll just send her a message. Amber, you need to set up your camera and everything in your kitchen as you're preparing. Oh, there you go. Hibernero. I got a gander at your community tab. And what I was saying is, if there is no evidence that Carlos is an illegal immigrant, do you think that's right to put that information out there like that? Oh, okay. Hibernero, do you think that's right? Pending assignment. Doesn't pending assignment just mean that it hasn't been assigned to a judge yet, or the site just isn't updated? Oh, Amber is your sister from another mother too? Damn. You got a lot of sisters, woman. So a pound a day. Okay, Amber. And what is this I was reading about Ice Ice Baby, and how that was supposed to mean that y'all got to explain this to me. I'm telling you, I was bored. I couldn't sleep, so I went reading, and all of this stuff was popping up in my shorts and posts. The evidence is that Maria deleted her community tab, and I do think it's right when she makes false accusations about me without proof. Okay. 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 See, that's the way. So I was getting messages about Bambi the other day, and about Bambi doxing. I don't know who it was. I think the guy's name. Well, no, it was Mustard Squirrel. Okay. Now, I know there's a history between Bambi and Mustard Squirrel and all of these people. I've talked to Bambi before about this. I am not Bambi's keeper. I do not approve of doxing at all. At all. But there's nothing that I can do about Bambi posting whatever she wants to do. So I remember when they were putting out Bambi's information. There's nothing I can do about that. No, I don't support it at all. Don't like it at all. If Bambi's doing content, I will be in Bambi's lives. If Bambi is not doing content, I will not be in Bambi's lives. She wiped her community tab completely clean about everything about me after I seen that on Reddit. Oh, so that's on Reddit. Okay. I got you. Okay. I got you. But I understand where you're coming from. I really do. Because weren't you supposed to have been married to a black man? See, and people take stuff and they run with it. That's what I'm saying. Putting false information out there or misinformation is not good. Also, Maria started messaging people behind the scenes, worried about me knowing that. So it's true then. So she's messaging people behind the scenes, and these people are coming to you and telling you, oh my God. So that's true. Because if it wasn't true, why are you messaging people behind the scenes? See, if it wasn't true, you would just ignore it. Damn, Hypernarrow. But how would they know that? It's true. Oh, that's a no-no. Oh my God. Okay. No, we're good. I had questions. I just wanted to know, where did that come from? Well, okay then. I got my answer. Whoo, Jesus Christ. See, I hit that vape too hard. Damn. That juice got all in there. Jesus. Oh, Hypernarrow. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm just like I'm shocked. Can we just lay off the community tabs for a while? Can we just stop? Good morning. Checking in with you, bad folks. Go ahead and tell me, what is Maria done? Oh God, Gypsy, you need to go listen to George. I don't know if you went to. Look. I don't read community tabs, but I'm serious. For some reason, last night, well, early this morning, all of these things were popping up. Well, my phone actually updated too. All of these things started popping up. And my notifications, like I was looking, mother and 1 year old daughter who died. Okay, I was looking, and I can show you guys, I wasn't getting all of these notifications, but then I noticed that, I don't know if you noticed on YouTube with the update, if you did an update to your phone, you'll have, there's a new tab there. I'll tell you. Oh, hold on. The new tab is there. Why is that? See, what is this? Home. Okay. There's a tab there. I'm showing you, look at all my stuff that's popping in. Let me show you. This has never popped up on my phone like that before. It has shorts. It has posts. You slide down, you'll see posts and everything. That's never happened to me before. So maybe I needed to update. Okay. Oh, I see Ann did a spa day and afternoon tea with my girls. I was asleep. So I have all of these posts. Oh shit, I see Lisa went live. See, let me show you. I've never ever, and you think I'm kidding. You can ask Party Rock in the chat. When she would tell me something about a post, I'll be like, wait a minute, I don't get this. So if you look, there's Ann. All of a sudden, all these posts started coming up. You see this? I have never received a post from Habanero. Ever have I seen a post. I would always ask Party Rocker. She would say, oh, Maria and Habanero are going back and forth. I'm like, okay, what's Habanero's channel? And she would send it to me. She's in the chat. I've never received any posts like this. And if I keep going down, there's more and more posts. So I just started reading. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So that's where I saw that stuff at. Yep, and that's true. So that's how I saw all of that. Other than that, I wouldn't have seen it unless somebody would have told me about it. But it just, all of this stuff is popping up on my thing. So I have IU, what is it? My phone did an update yesterday. IU 7.0 is giving me AI, all this shit. I don't like the color. I don't like the way my home screen looks. Nothing. So I'm just like, okay, I was just scrolling through. I was trying to reset stuff. But anyway, that's where I started seeing all of this from. So that's why I asked. Because I wouldn't have known. And I was like, okay, could you send me a link? Because I don't. And if you don't have a lot of stuff on your channel, like my sister's channel, I can never find her channel unless I go to my messages where I know that I forwarded her channel to someone at. So, and that's how I find her channel. And even though I'm subscribed, there are so many keeping it reels and all of this stuff, I can't find it. What? And I saw Vote posted that she was supposed to be done. See, I was just, all of this stuff just started popping up. And I tell people, I never get posts and I never get notifications of stuff like that. And I wasn't. But now everything is there. I don't know if I had my settings wrong or what, but now I'm getting shorts. Everything's popping up in little categories. So I don't know. See, so Gypsy, seriously, this is what my phone is now showing. When I go to my YouTube thing, it's showing me everything. Everything. And I'm looking, people that I'm not even subscribed to. All these posts that are coming up. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So again, maybe I had something set wrong. I don't know. I've never been subscribed to Soft White Underbelly. I'm getting all of their posts. Never subscribed. So maybe I need to reset my phone back again to not share, to to do not recommend channels, but I'm not subscribed to Soft White Underbelly. There are channels in here, Commandant, whatever. I don't know who all these people are. I'm getting posts from Watcher or Crazy. I've never seen all these posts before. Like I'm kidding. Look, I'm subscribed to Watcher or Crazy, but I've never gotten posts. Never gotten posts. See, I've never seen. Now all of a sudden they're popping in. Okay, you had to. I was having to say I had to sub and unsub. Okay. Yeah, my phone is showing all of this now. It didn't update yesterday. I do not like my look at my screen. It's changed my whole damn screen. And I've been sitting here trying to figure out how to fix it because it's driving me nuts. I can't fix it. It's driving me nuts. I can't fix it. And then I said I was going to call this morning to see if they can take the update off so it can go back to the way it was. Because I don't like it. My screen is black. I'm not in dark mode. The writing, my keyboard is a whole different color. I don't like it. I got posts from Jen. Oh, Amber, that looks good. That looks good. I'm seeing posts from Jen I've never seen, and she even tagged me. It says, this was 21 hours ago. Never saw that. SPL Sharon, I know I'm subscribed to her. I'm getting posts from her. I've never gotten posts from any of these people. Tinnicky, posts. I've never gotten posts. Never. So anyway, so I don't know, but anyway, this is what's going on right now. Okay. I got blocked on Limo tab. Must have hit a nerve mentioning Carlos has no citizenship. She has most of her family already. Oh, okay. Okay, I see it. Thank you, ma'am. So yeah, again, I don't know why I'm getting all of these, but I'm getting them now. I'm even getting notifications from TikTok. I wouldn't use, like my sister told me that she sent me something. Every time somebody goes live on the TikTok that I follow, I'm getting notifications now. So I need to turn off all these notifications because this is driving me nuts. Since I've been talking to you, my phone has blown up with all these new notifications. So I don't know what the hell. I'm just going to have to play with my phone today to see can I fix this because I don't need all these notifications running through my phone. And when I used to slide my phone down, I used to be able to turn off my volume or put do not disturb on. Now I can't do it. I have to go into my settings. This is crazy. I don't like anything about this update. And I'm too lazy to go read and see what the hell I'm supposed to be doing. So I just want everything to go back the way it was. And did I put on do not disturb? No, I think I turned on girl, I have no idea. What did I do? I have no idea what I did. I don't know. I turned my volume off. I have no idea what I did. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. This is crazy. I have no idea what's going on with my phone. So I think today I'm just going to go right into Sprint, now T-Mobile, and we're going to have to show me what the hell is going on and how do I navigate this, because when you get used to something and now it's changed, I am so confused. I don't know how to turn my phone back to sound. And I went to the sound, but it's not there. I have no idea how to put my notifications back on. None. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go play with my phone. Heidi, I sent you the screenshot. Yeah, I just saw it, Habanero. Yeah, but that's the way I had it. So, like some of these channels, I never even, if I subscribe to them, I don't remember. But I need to go click those little things that say do not recommend channel. You got to Well, that's because you're still subscribed, Snuggle Bunny. You probably subscribed once and you're still subscribed and you never hit do not recommend channel. But that was a new content creator. His name is Shamar Sledge. I really enjoyed his live last. It was late. I told you I couldn't sleep. I really enjoyed his live, and it was fun. Have no idea what they're talking about at all. So that's what made it fun, because I couldn't say, "Oh my God, oh my." I was just listening and laughing my ass off. That was it. Camera flash notifications. See, I'm telling you, I don't like any of this. So anyway, I'm going, keeping it snuggle. You was called, who was called a troll? My Brad Hunter called you. I will let him know you are not a troll. My Brad Hunter. I'll let him know, Snuggle. I'm gonna leave him a message on his thing right now. I'll let him know. They probably thought that you were what's his name, but I'll let him know. It's sad when you can't go into a chat. Oh, I just figured it out. It's sad when you can't go into a chat that you've never been in, and not being thinking that, and people not thinking you're trolling. I went into Shamar Sledge live last night. They welcomed me. There was nothing about, but I'll let him know. Am I modded MRHs? I don't remember. I know I am in Red Zillas and Grumpies, but I'll let him know, Snuggle. Oh, one of his mods. Do you remember her name? If you tell me her name, if you tell me her name, I'll definitely let her know. But I think I am a mod for MRH. Okay. That was yesterday, because I didn't even know MRH went live. Okay. What? I just see Jen went live. It was a man's name. Okay, I'm going to go back and look in the chat. Was that yesterday? I'll go back and look, and I'll see if I can still see who it was. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I see Jen just went live. Let me see. How long? Yep, she went live about 25 minutes ago. So a few days ago. All right, sweetie, I'll check. You guys have a great day. I'm going to leave now, and I will talk to you guys later. All right. Bye, guys.